Welcome to the 2017 National Scrapbook Day online crop on the Victoria Marie Facebook group. Make sure you check it out. Link is posted below. Also remember, there is a 40% off sale on all Victoria Marie online classes, so make sure you check it out. Here is the layout that I completed for our first challenge, which is called the On the Grid Challenge. So make sure that you check out the link below, which will take you to the Victoria Marie Facebook. Join the group so you can play along and also take advantage of the 40% off sale that's running all weekend long on all Victoria Marie online classes. So this is an 8.5 by 11 layout that I am putting this grid on, and I wanted to divide this white piece of textured cardstock with that pattern paper. What I'm going to do is do a little bit of stitching all around that layout just to add some texture as well as a little bit of interest, and there we go. That is all done. Now the photos that I am using for this grid are photos of my little one who just recently was cooking dinner with me, and she loves to cook dinner, and so I thought I would snap some pictures of her in her cute little apron and chopping up the lettuce for our salad and all kinds of stuff. So I am using the May 2017 Clique kit, Clique Kits kit, and it is called Sorbet. And the colors are beautiful. And what I've done is I printed my photos down 2 by 2, and there's a bunch of cut aparts and stuff that come with the kit. And so some of them are in a 2 by 2 square exactly, and then some of them are smaller than that. But I thought it added a lot of interest just kind of using different sized elements. Now what I'm doing is I am I'm embellishing each little square. So you see the cut aparts that I'm layering with other cut aparts to add some dimension and texture. I added a tab to the one at the top that says never give up. I added a blue little card behind the little ampersand card, that yellow and red. Then I have these two little triangles, which I think I'm going to switch up here in just a second. One has a puffy pot with a little flower bud on there. See, I'm switching around trying to decide where I want it. And the other one has a little label that says my life, but I think that's going to end up being switched out. I have this other little card that says on your own. I'm just going to staple a tab to it. And when I do grid designs, I like to keep them relatively simple, but with lots of movement. So with these different sizes and the layering on the cards, it gives a lot of texture, a lot of dimension. So I'm trying to decide if I want a tab on that, but I think it's going to be a little bit too much. So I opt instead to grab another one of these little cut aparts. You can print off a cut apart sheet on the Clique Kits Designs website. And so this was a part of the May cut aparts. So what I want to do is put that towards the bottom of that little card just to add a little bit of texture and movement there, a little interest. And I'm going to trim that up just a tiny bit so that the corners of that are rounded at the bottom, since the little scallops are rounded. I thought that would work out perfectly. So just a tiny bit of trimming there. And I'm done with that. Next up, I have the other photo. So the top photo is of her preparing the spinach that's going to go on our salad. The photo in the second row is of her chopping up some tomatoes because she's learning how to use a knife and cut vegetables. And then the other two photos of her dancing after rinsing off the vegetables for our salad. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm committing to the positioning of all of these elements on my grid, and you can be very flexible with your grid design. And for our challenge, all you need to do is include photos, some die cut embellishments, and something that will add a bit of texture. And of course you want to add your title as well as your journaling. And you can interpret this as much or as any way that you want to. So if you want to do a 12 by 12, an 8.5 by 11, you can do a card, you can do a traveler's notebook, anything will work as long for this challenge you are doing, as long as, I couldn't get that out, as long as for this challenge you're creating a grid design. Good grief, I've been narrating a lot today. So anyway, and I'm excited because it's National Scrapbook Day weekend. Okay, so now I'm working on my title. So I'm going to grab this little puffy sticker. Now, by the way, all the elements that you see here are from Pink Fresh Studio. Every single last bit of it. It's beautiful stuff. All right, so I'm going to bring in some thickers. And I decided that I wanted to position the title such that I have room for those tall thickers fonts in gold. I thought I was going to put it at the bottom, but I didn't like it. So I'm going to switch some things up to make some room for it. But while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to add a few more embellishments. So I add a little puffy shape there to that little square, that little blue heart, and then a star to the yellow ampersand card. Now I'm looking around for any other elements, and I decided to cover the camera die cut with that puffy camera. Now I'm going to pull up the photo ever so gently because I decided now that I want to reposition some things because I needed a space for my journaling to go. or no, not for my journaling, but for my title to go. So the title is going to read Happy Chef. And those thicker letters are a little bit taller, so I needed space for that. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and spell out chef real quickly to see how that'll fit in that space. And I thought I would put my journaling there too, but then I changed my mind. And it's okay to do that. Now, I love doing grid designs because it comes together easy. You don't have to think about it too hard, and you can use multiple photos. Speaking of, I may or may not be having a class coming out here in a couple of weeks that's all about multiple photo layouts. So if that's something you're interested in, post below. I love to hear about it. All right, so I did a little bit of stitching there on the cards just to add some interest, which, by the way, you'll see a promo for that class coming up pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. So after I did the stitching, I covered those stitches in the back with some washi tape so they wouldn't fray, and I'm just trimming up a little bit more. And now I'm getting ready to work on my journaling lines. And the journaling reads, "You're my sweet little sous chef, always helping with dinner and baking. You are quickly becoming quite the little cook, and we certainly don't mind." Which we don't. It's important that she learns those life skills. So there we go. So this layout probably took me about 20 minutes to get together. So this is a great start, I think, to the National Scrapbook Day weekend to kind of get your juices flowing creatively by starting with a layout that doesn't take too much fuss. You can use multiple photos, multiple embellishments, and really get a cool design. So there's the final look. For more information about this challenge and other challenges for the Victoria Marie Online Crop, make sure you visit the Victoria Marie Facebook group. That is where we are hosting this year's crop. So make sure you check it out and make sure you send a request to join the group. Also, don't forget that all Victoria Marie online classes are 40% off. You're going to use code VMNSD so that you can get 40% off of any Victoria Marie class. This is a great deal, especially if you haven't tried one of my classes yet. So I hope to see you in the classroom. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.